Hello guys, welcome to Big Brother, and today is a very sad day. It's a very sad day because we're coming up on the double eviction and so many people have just had their games blown up because one person in the house cannot see that they are getting played by Chelsea, absolutely fiddled with. It's craziness how much she has tanked her game in 1 week. Way to lose 750k MJ. We will talk more on that later, but I am very upset and very angry, and I have been for a couple of days after listening on Twitter to what's been happening on the feeds. I'm fuming because MJ was in such a good position, and now bottom of the barrel. She's going home in the double, I reckon. I really do reckon she's going home, but we will get to that a little bit later. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We will be doing this till the end of the season, so thank you guys for watching. Let us get in to this double bill of disastrous gameplay. So I am all for messy gameplay, but I am not here for game-destroying gameplay. This is exactly what happened on Big Brother Canada, the latest season, when Avery decided to switch on Kayla, and then she found herself on the outs next week. Who could have guessed that? Who could have guessed that? But anyway, we are going to get straight in with the HOH competition. It was alright. It was just the stacking challenge. It was quite funny to watch, actually. There were a lot of moments where they were stacking them and then they were falling down. There was one moment where Angela had finished earlier. She was just listening to everyone else's towers falling down, which I found hysterical. I wish that Angela would have spent just a little bit more time on her tower so that she could have got more pieces up there. But I don't know. I feel like MJ was going to win this regardless. She had 30 to Angela's 20, and Rubina was somewhere in the middle there. I think she got about 26, 27, I'm not sure. But either way, there was a big gap, and I just don't know whether it would have been enough to beat MJ. MJ was winning this regardless. She's got a construction background. She knows how to do this kind of thing. So really, I wasn't surprised by her winning this challenge. What I was surprised by was what happened next, but I thought this HOH challenge was fun. It was interesting to watch. There were loads of different moments that made me go, ooh, this is funny, this is entertaining. Usually it's quite depressing, but they made it actually really fun and entertaining to watch, and I could feel the panic through the screens as they were trying to stack this, and it just wasn't working. Cam was doing a madness. I don't know whether he was throwing the challenge or not, but he was not building anything properly. So yeah, on the whole, a really strong competition. But let's get into a very sad moment of the episode. So very sadly, we had to say goodbye to one of our cast members because they sadly passed away. It actually broke my heart because he's been such an amazing part of this series. I really enjoyed him last week. I thought he really shone, and it was actually nice to see him get some attention for once. No, I'm not talking about Cam. I'm talking about Janky. Janky has been brutally murdered on our television screens. I think this is the darkest thing that I've ever seen on a Big Brother series. I was like, rah, this is so awful. He just got murked by, what's her name? Ainsley. Just murked. Dead. Gone. Finito. And then they did a little in memoriam section for him, and I was almost on the verge of tears. Everyone hated him last week, and then this happened, and everyone was like, oh, I miss Janky, I miss Janky, I miss Janky. And now Ainsley's back, and she's now Red Ainsley, and I feel like that means something bad's going on. I mean, red means scary after all, so something is going to be happening with Ainsley. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'm kind of scared, guys. Ainsley's doing a madness, and I don't think any of us are ready for this. So next up, we had a visit from Zingbot, and Zingbot dealt some brutal blows to people. There was a limerick involving Tucker, which was I can't remember what she said. I can't remember what Zingbot said, but it ended with basically he's a stupid fucker or something like that, and it just had me howling. It had me absolutely howling. Then Chemo was like told that, oh, you're a mattress salesman. Good job because you're sending everyone to sleep. And I was like, rah, they're coming in hard this series. They're absolutely rinsing them. Then there was a shit one for Leah. Leah actually got the worst one. Like, it was kind of just boring. It was kind of, like, apparently she's a dummy chaser. Or like, no, that people who like her are dummy chasers. And it's like, oh, you're just calling her a dummy. That's kind of shit, I won't lie. Then we had MJ getting dissed for being the beast of Big Brother with those horrible hooves that she's got. Can't stand the feet. The feet are apparently dreadful. Cam said they're as black as his skin, and I was like, raw. That's crazy. Then we had Cam adding nothing to the game, which I found very funny. And then Chelsea and Cam, he was like, never gonna happen. And I was like, Zingbot, you can't say that, my bestie. You can't say that. And then obviously Angela got the song, which Corey got last season, and the song was brutal. Obsessed with men half her age. That's so creepy. I was like, and Angela obviously did not take this very well. I think she was kind of a little bit upset about it, and I was like, do you know what? Fair enough, because I don't know whether I would have been able to hack something like that. I'd have stood there and I was like, this is kind of deep, I won't lie. Like, this is kind of deep and like, oopsie. So, MJ's plan for the week was actually a fairly solid one-ish. Kind of, not really at all. She planned on putting Chemo and Angela up. And I was like, okay, this is a smart plan to get Chemo out. And then she was like, oh no, my target is Angela. Even though she's telling Angela that her target is Chemo. And I'm going to really delve into why Angela being on the block is one of the worst things that you could do for MJ's game. But we're going to move past that because I want to talk more about that in my how MJ is about to tank her game and lose herself 750k section of this episode. I actually can't believe it. I really can't. But she did decide to put up Chemo and Angela. Do I think this was the smartest decision? No, not really. I think I would have put up Chemo and Rubina. I think that would have been smart. They're the two that aren't directly working with MJ, and I think that's the smartest choice for her as an HOH. It seems like she's very much playing other people's games at the moment rather than her own game, and that is going to be something that comes back and bites her in the arse, I feel like. So yeah, we'll just have to wait for her to realise that on her own. So you'll notice that I'm missing out a lot of sections, and that's because it's all going to be talked about in the massive section later on. But we are going to talk about the veto competition. The veto competition was Cam. Well, the only person that didn't participate was Rubina. So yeah. Also, I feel like this was a very, very easy, and I mean easy, challenge to participate in. I feel like I could have done this in about 5 minutes, but apparently the quickest time was 9 minutes something, which I feel like is still respectable, but apparently third place was 35 minutes, and I was like, how did this take you 35 minutes? And how did 3 people have a slower time than you? How is that possible? Because this was a very easy challenge, very easy indeed. And that's what was winding me up. They basically had to go over to an animal and be like, oh, hi. It was basically based on The Wild Robot, which is like a new movie that's coming out. Never heard of it. This is literally the first time I've heard of it. Which, considering it's like a children's animated movie, I feel like I would have seen a trailer of it by now. But I haven't. So I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of sprung out of nowhere. But anyway, it was actually a really cute challenge. They had to listen to these animal noises and then they had to translate them by pressing like buttons which gave the noises. I feel like it was very easy to sort of remember the noises. Some of them were very similar, but some of them were like very distinct and obvious. So I feel like, yeah, I don't think it would have taken me as long as it did some people. So obviously MJ won the veto, which means that she has all of the power this week, and she's now at something like 6 challenge wins, I think, which means that she's actually equal with Tucker, which is kind of crazy. But I do feel like this now puts a little bit of a target on her back, potentially, maybe. But that was all for the veto competition. let's talk about a balcony situation. So, what is this balcony situation? Well, Leah was like sunbathing up on the balcony, and down below on the pool table, Rubina and Chelsea and who else was there? Chemo were all bitching about her down there. And then Leah gets up and is like, I can hear them talking about me, and then walks her off to find like Angela and MJ. And then she's like, they were talking about me. And so they follow her back out. And then Chelsea's up on the balcony, almost as if she's trying to find out, oh, could she have heard us from up here? And they clocked it immediately. It was so awkward and uncomfortable. And it kind of gave Leah an indication that like, oh shit, they're going after me this week. Brilliant. This is great because how am I going to get out of this one? How am I getting out of this one? I'm getting backdoored. I know it. The only thing I can possibly do is talk to MJ about it. And I don't know how successful she was at that because, as we learn later, she did end up going on the block. But we'll talk about that a little bit later because we have to talk about what on earth MJ is doing with her game. So, going into this week, MJ was in probably the best position in terms of like the entire house, personally, in my opinion. She's not directly pissing off Rubina and Chemo. She might not be aligned with them, but they aren't gunning for her. She's close with Chelsea and Cam, and she's got the backs of, she's supported by Leah and Angela. She was in the best position in the house. So all she had to do was target the two people in the competition that aren't directly aligned with her or don't have her backs 100%. And it was just so frustrating to watch Chelsea, who I've got to say is playing a phenomenal game. I don't know if she'll make the final, but if she does, she's winning this. She has to, because the way she's playing everybody currently is insanity. Like, it's actually insane to watch in real time. Because I can't believe that she's managed to sweet talk MJ into putting up Leah, who she's had a bond with, a connection with, and an alliance with since day one. Day numero uno, when it was her, Leah, and Matt. I cannot believe it. And also, Angela, who she's already taken down from the block. Angela has already pledged her allegiance to MJ multiple times. And we've seen it before that, like, yes, she can turn on them, but, like, she won't put up her allies. She won't actively put them on the block if she wins HOH. So, therefore, you've got to think about, who has your best interests at heart? Because Rubina and Chemo don't. They should have been the nominees. And then if you take someone down, then you put Angela up. Sure. But the fact that you put Angela up, and then you take Chemo down, and then you put Leah up in his place, that is potentially the worst gameplay move this season. In fact, in a very long time. Out of the last 3 seasons that I've watched, this might be the worst game move. Because do you know what it's done? It's ruined her chances of winning. She's thrown away 750,000. And let me explain why. She's now a target. Chemo and Rubina want to target her. Cam and Chelsea want to target her. Angela will now want to target her. Because at the end of the day, if Leah goes home, that leaves Angela very vulnerable. And if Angela gets into a position of power, bye-bye MJ. I 100% would get rid of her. You put me up on the block against my best friend. You backstabbed your best friend. That's craziness. And also, if she does somehow manage to make it all the way to the end of the game, the jury's not voting for her. The jury is definitely not voting for her. If she is on the block against anybody else in that competition, bar maybe Cam, she's not getting those votes. She's not getting those votes at all. Because, think about it. Leah's going to go back to the jury house. Quinn's going to go, oh, who was HOH? She's going to go, MJ. He's going to go, what? She backstabbed you. T-Cor's going to go, that's odd. I think the only way that T-Cor votes for MJ to win is if Cam is sitting in the other chair. Maybe Angela, actually. If Angela is at the end with MJ, potentially Mackenzie could win. But again, I think that Leah, and I think Quinn, And I think if Angela goes to the jury house, those three are not going to be voting for Mackenzie to win if she's in those final 2 chairs. That's already 3 out of 7 of the jurors. All it takes is one more person to be like, nah, fuck you, MJ. And then it's done. It's done. It's wrapped. You've lost 750k because you made that move. I cannot explain to you how poor I think this decision is. How absolutely abysmally poor it is. And the thing is, Chelsea's playing a blinder right now. She has been dripping information into MJ's ear all week. Oh, did you hear Leah said this? Oh, did you hear Leah say this? Oh, did you hear Leah said this? And I was like, this is masterful gameplay. Because it's just, oh, I'm just telling you information. I'm not telling you to do anything. But I think we probably should take out Leah because she's going to come for us at some point. How has she managed to, like, make MJ believe that Leah's coming after her when she's actually not? And she even said, Leah said multiple times this week, I feel like I put the wrong person up last week. I should have put Chelsea up. I should have put Chelsea up and we should have taken Chelsea out. We should have gotten rid of Chelsea. And obviously this has worked its way back to MJ. And now MJ's like, oh, I can't have you come in for one of my, like, the people I'm working with. You're meant to be working with Leah. When did that stop happening? I feel like I completely missed that part where you were like, I'm no longer working with you, Leah. You're no longer my number one. How did this happen? I swear that you guys were like this for so many weeks. And then all of a sudden, nah. We're not friends with her anymore. We're not friends with her. Nah. I'll put her on the block. I don't care. I don't have her back anymore. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because this was actually the moment where I thought, rah, Chelsea's won it. Chelsea's actually won this game. The only other person I think that has a hope of winning this game against Chelsea is Angela. Because are you telling me that if Chelsea and Angela are sat in the final, you're not voting for Angela? The fact that she has survived the block already, if Leah goes tomorrow, she'll have survived the block 6 times. 3 people will have used their veto on her. She's won 2 HOHs and she's won a veto competition. Let's talk about Chelsea's resume. She's won 2 HOHs, 1 like BBAI arena. Okay, so she's won the same amount of like competitions as Angela, but no one's used a veto on her. She hasn't she's a good mastermind and manipulator, but you can't deny that like Angela's playing a fucking blinder game. The fact that she's been up on the block 6 times and she's still here, you cannot deny that. You cannot deny that. And I think Angela would be the perfect winner for this series because of how crazy and chaotic it's been. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We've still got about 3 more weeks before the final. So, God. So the last thing we need to talk about is the strange messages from Julie. It was odd. It was strange. I was like, this is odd. Apparently she's drip feeding information about Ainsley being like a rogue AI. And I was like, this is a bit weird, bit creepy. And then obviously she's like, the jurors have gone missing. The world's a mess outside. And I was like, is it? And then obviously the jurors going missing worried me because I'm like, is there a battle back? That would be concerning a little bit. But also, I think a battle back would be the perfect opportunity to mix this game up a little bit because I think that every single one of the jurors that has gone so far, including Leah, if she does go tomorrow, then will have been evicted wrongfully, in my opinion. There are people in this top 7 that deserve to be in the jury more than those 3, and I will stand by that. But then obviously it turned out that it was actually Ainsley manipulating and controlling the Chenbot, which was funny and weird and creepy. So I think there's definitely some good, interesting stuff going on. We've got the double eviction tomorrow. I'm very nervous. I don't know how it's going to go, but before that happens, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment and subscribe, doing all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. But until tomorrow, I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.